This video's gonna be about getting control. You know, we are always looking to grasp at reality and take it within our hold and just dominate it with our own role. And we all try and find the way to best be able to do that. I mean, we're human, right? We all want to be able to set a foundation and make it very clear that we are the boss. Or we don't. And we end up being some sort of pacifist that doesn't want to create war, wants everything to be peaceful, and just wants to sit back and do our own thing. That's cool. But the reality is, we're all looking for ways to be able to get our way in life. And just like sales is for anybody, you're either selling or you're being sold. So you're trying to convince somebody else of another idea. And control is the exact same thing when it comes to dominating your head in everything you bring. I mean, mental health is gaining control of this space, this terrain that is your brain. Nothing else is going to help you from being able to restrain yourself from this collective perspective that is your mind. You are a combination of the experiences you create. You are the way you are because of the way you think. So if you can gain control and rewire your brain, you're going to start to do things that are completely different from the places you were at before. And you are going to get to new places where you were not. It's very simple. You do new things, you gain new experiences, you train your brain, and eventually you're going to be able to have that control that you're looking for. But what is the right way to be able to go about doing that? That is the question we're going to answer. The thing is, though, is that we're all trying to answer that. And we're all reading stuff, watching videos, and creating content and learning from this content that is about personal development. And personal development is a huge industry today. I mean, I think it's like, multi-million, maybe even, I don't want to say the numbers, but $billion industry. I mean, there's coaches and stuff and all these different things that people are paying for, and then they film themselves and they put out content like everybody's some sort of entrepreneur now, and it is like the big thing. Everybody's doing it, and influencer marketing is just beginning. Like, you are now seeing and now witnessing, it's June 14th, 2019 right now, you are now witnessing people making their own advertisements within the past couple of months, and everybody's starting to build their business and promote and market. This is not, oh, Ty Lopez here in my garage anymore. That was the first ad that ran for like a year straight. And new things came out. Ty does his own thing. Everybody else is some sort of expert now. And it's really, 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 really getting kind of annoying, but it's the reality of what we're facing. Look, you're either selling or you're being sold, you're going to get control or you're going to not get control. I am describing the industry and the space of everybody trying to develop into their own role by growing, raw. I've got to push myself to do this thing so that I can be in control of my own life. Wrong. I'm going to tell you that is wrong. That is the wrong thing to do. But it is right at the correct time. The reason why is because at the end of this entire journey, you're trying to become self-aware. Instead of wanting to be so many different things, you cannot be everything that you want to be, but you can be everything you actually are. That's what self-awareness is going to give you. And when you start finding what your strengths are, and you start finding what your weaknesses are, you're going to find the openings in between, and you're going to make your decisions based on that. Therefore, you do more of things that you want to do, less of what you don't. And because you have the know, the K-N-O-W, the knowledge and the wisdom to be able to say no, therefore you can say yes to more of the things that you love to do. That is what we are looking for. Personal development is going to push you into a place where you are saying yes, 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 yes to every opportunity. Because you are a yes man. And you are saying, yes, I am going to grow and try new things. And I'm going to do whatever it takes. 10x the action to be able to get the next result. And they're going to make a lot of money off of you. You're going to put a lot of money back out there. And ultimately, it's a good experience. But gaining actual control of your mind is a process. And at that point, you're basically motivating yourself. And you're giving yourself, from the get-go, an energetic burst that you keep having to push yourself to get up in the morning to do. And eventually, you're going to burn out. And after trying to do this specific thing, whether it's in your business or in your daily personal life, implementing these habits that aren't in accordance with your own unique, authentic self, you are going to burn out. And when you burn out, you are going to stop doing whatever it is you are doing, and you're going to have to take some time off to relax, to ease your mind, and be like, oh my gosh, like, I feel like crap, I don't know what to do anymore. And then you make a choice. You probably will choose to either go back into it and do the whole thing again and not learn from your experience and be a dumb fool, or you will do something else and you will try and become self-aware. Fortunately for me, I chose the self-awareness path. And that was after I tried another several months. I would have to say June, July, August, and September of doing personal development. In 2018, 2019, October, November. Okay, so actually 5 months. 5 months of 2018, I tried to gain control and continuously do sales and branding and marketing for branding and marketing services for this period of time, and I was telling myself to do something when really it wasn't something I wanted to do anymore. Like I was done being and enjoying that experience because I had already done it for about 6 months, 7 months, 8 months now. And it wasn't serving me as much as it was anymore because I learned the basics. And this is unique to me, once I learn the basics of something and I get good enough at it to know enough that, I'm no longer excited about doing this thing, then I can move on to the next big project, which will probably last another 3 months. This serves as an example in Japanese, in learning Chinese, in doing sales, in doing branding and marketing and, artistic work. And, I wouldn't say dancing because that's the only thing I want to do right now. But all these different things that I did, there were so many. I just can't get into it right now. I did it so that I could gain control in a specific thing and have my mind work in a way that I can continue to expand it, but only to a certain degree. Your mind is going to work in this very same way, except when you find self-awareness, you no longer have to do anything. When you find self-awareness, you are going to have complete dominance and clarity of your mental space that nothing else matters. Except energetically, you have to grow from there. Okay, you have to enhance your aura. You have to enhance your spiritual presence. You have to maintain physical control of your body. And you have to tell it what to think. You have to tell your mind what to think. And then you also have to tell your emotions. You have to feel real. And then you'll be good. You'll be a very well-rounded, good human being. But here comes the story. That was all personal development, and that was all gaining control. Here comes the story. This is why this matters. When I was coming into this house, this apartment complex from my mother's house, I didn't have control. And I had to figure out a way to be able to regain that control within myself, because mentally I was very unstable. I had just released from my body so many different disgusting things that I had to be able to be like, wow,
Now connected to Earthworks.
how do I create the change within myself to be able to figure out what it is that I need to do to grow and become myself? Everything was about seeking truth. And as I continued to seek that truth, I continued to grow. But ultimately, I just needed something to do. Because if I didn't do something, then I was wasting time. And ultimately, I wasn't being valuable because I was being a nobody. So in July of 2017, I convinced myself on the 23rd of July that I was not going to screw up anymore. And I told my friend at the time, Oatmeal, that it was very, very, very important that I commit, and I was not going to mess him up anymore. And basically, I was telling myself, look, you are not going to fail at your own life anymore. You have to succeed. Your life depends on it. And that's the entire personal development industry. So, and July 23rd, after that point, I got into network marketing. This was in August. I started working with Kyani, and this is a network marketing company for health supplements. And then, I moved into being able to work with online branding and marketing sales. And that was in September. I started on the 19th. But before that, I was working at a car dealership in between the transition for about 3 to 4 weeks. Lexus in July and in June. And I was doing car sales. The first personal development book I picked up was Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. And that book taught me so much, and I didn't even finish the thing. I sucked at reading. I learned that pretty fast because I bought a ton of books when I started this whole personal development journey. And I ended up giving, I think, all of them away. I have like a couple more. I gave them all away and I didn't read them, or I read some of it and gave it away, or I read the whole thing and gave it away after taking notes in the book. I don't read books. That's not how I communicate to learn effectively. I interview people and exchange energy. That's what I'm good at doing. Other people have their own ways. They like to write. They like to sing or dance or whatever, however you communicate. Okay, do that. Do your best thing. But when it comes to taking in information, there's a few ways: video, audio, and then written format. And those are the platforms that people are putting content out here. And those are the ways that you are going to consume and project information. If you happen to be good like me at speaking, then you're probably going to be putting content out on video format. So the biggest thing that's going on right now is you are trying to regain control of your own life, of your own mind. You're trying to gain mental stability. How in the heck do you do that? You have to push yourself into it until you can pull yourself out of it. And it's going to be tough. This is how I did it. You basically have to rewire your brain and do all of the things that you fear. And change your environment to be a situation where we just came from safety. You have safety now. Now that you have safety, you have to gain control of your life and your mind. And in order to be able to do that, you have to consume things that are going to be positive. Because if you're consuming negativity on a daily basis, then you're going to continue to produce negativity. You have to displace that. And displace meaning, if I have a cup here, and this cup has water in it, no, let's just say milk. If this cup has milk in it, or coffee, because it's a coffee cup. This cup has coffee in it. We're going to pour water into it until it overflows, and the thick coffee ends up leaving the cup and fills up with water. So that water is the only substance in here. Okay? So you have to displace the negativity that is in your brain to regain control. You literally have to stop talking to negative people. You have to cut them out from your life, because toxic people is probably what's giving you this type of mentality. And you have to clear out all the things that you are consuming, whether that's the news, whether that's TV, whether that is the songs you listen to, the music, whether that's, the people that you end up trying to connect with, whether that's you having a girlfriend who is negative, like outside forces, these external forces that are affecting you, because things either happen to you or they happen because of you. Things have to happen because of you at this point. If you're to gain control, then you have to be responsible for your own emotions. This is the key. You have to become responsible for your own emotions. And once you can be able to mentally and emotionally rehearse what you want to happen, this is where you're starting to get the right foundation and you're starting to have the right control. Because if you're in a place where you're mentally and emotionally rehearsing what you don't want to happen, once again, this is worry. And worry ends up consuming you so that you end up becoming depressed. When things are not in your control and you mentally and emotionally rehearse what you don't want to happen, you become depressed. So, if my mother dies and I just keep mentally and emotionally rehearsing that I could have saved her, I am definitely going to become depressed. So, if my mother dies, I'm not in control of that. It happened. Now I have to see it as good. I have to accept it and see it as good. My mother died. It was her time. She did everything she could to be able to live her best life. And she definitely made an impact on mine by teaching me everything not to do. Because now I'm human. Oh, gosh, if I can think of the core lessons that my parents taught me. My mother was really good. Really, 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 really good at telling me what not to do. And I don't want to get into this right now. I'm not ready for it. So, if you're going to have control, then you really, really, really have to have control of your environment. There is another section where we're going to talk about environment, and we are literally going to motivate the heck out of ourselves. Everything you do is going to be about motivation, pushing yourself into it. This is all personal development stuff. And it's going to be a lot of rah-rah, okay? But to gain control, you have to be able to have safety. And then all of these things that you put into your brain, the people around you, the outside external influences, you have to not compromise on them. The more things you agree to and consent to that end up affecting you in a negative way than a positive way are going to end up degrading you. And that's what you're trying to avoid in seeking truth, in being transparent with the world, in believing what you want to believe. If you start believing what other people want to believe, it's the quickest way to becoming sick and not doing you in a way that you end up doing and becoming something that you actually aren't. Inauthenticity. It's the quickest way to fail because you are doing things that are not in alignment with what you are meant to do. And that's when you become somebody else and your personality splits, and then you have a false self, And this false self is going to be having complications because there's actually going to be multiple. And one is the strong false self who gets elated when, he's able to take advantage of situations and feel good. He feels good when he has control. And this one, when it's out of control and not responsible, ends up being weak and miserable and shrivels up and, tries to become the victim and blame other people. Like, there's so much that can you end up disassociating yourself with if you don't have control of who you are. And right now we're just unraveling that. Okay. We're just unraveling and unfolding everything that you actually are. And when you can get to this place where you are putting in more positivity than negativity, then you're going to start to get a little bit more mental clarity. Because right now, you're just digging a hole. Okay? If you're at this spot right now watching this video, you are just digging a hole, fishing for the bad right now. You are fishing for negative emotions. You think everything that happens to you is because of other people and their responsibility. You are being affected. You are the victim. A victim mentality means you are not in control. Everybody has you have a they did it to me story. Okay? You need to change that. You did it to yourself. Whatever happened, it happened. But it happened because of you. You need to remove that they did it to me story. That gives you a victim mentality. What do you go to school to become a victim? You attend class to learn, all these people, they're doing these bad things to me. It's their fault. Teacher, why are you torturing me? Why are you asking these questions that are making me feel stupid? You don't go to school to become a victim, do you? Okay, you go to school to learn and educate yourself. This whole thing is about teaching yourself to do things that are the truth. You may not be feeling things that are the truth right now, but as you continuously progress and you seek truth, you start to connect your emotions to what makes you feel good. And with what knowledge you are gathering mentally into your brain, when you start to connect emotions, it helps you learn and interlace things that are going to help you actually memorize it. Because when we link our emotions, instead of just a cognitive function, to something, that helps you learn at a rapid rate. And it helps you literally program it into your DNA of this mental space. Not DNA, okay, of your brain, but it literally helps you store it, like data in a computer. So that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to become more cognizant of your emotions, and you're going to have to become more cognizant of the mental things that make you feel good to regain control. And when you do, you're just going to be able to do more things that are going to be positive for you. Because right now, you're just pursuing what is positivity, and that's basically like personal development for you. Okay? So do you and live in your truth, but ultimately focus on positivity in how you do. Okay? This is control. Gaining control.